Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.
Are traditional roles obsolete? And if so, what then are the roles now? Welcome to Making It Last podcast, which is all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, with other people. And I'm live with the deans. Joel, he's a husband, software engineer, tech entrepreneur, and Ayana, wife, mother, content creator. No. Ayana is smiling because before we started recording, Joel said she has to deal with this one first and then he'll pitch in. So, the traditional roles, you grew up believing that what? You're supposed to be what?
To be honest, I mean, I don't think
For you, when you thought of growing up, you're going to be a wife, a mother, what?
No, when I was growing up,
mean?
I was going to be a lawyer. I was going to help Portia not to make so much mistakes on the, in a public. I was going to be a lawyer for a little bit, and then I was going to be a public relations officer, and I thought I was going to come back work in the office of the Prime Minister and be like, no, you cannot say that. Of course, she's no longer the Prime Minister, and I love her, by the way. Nice, good, big woman and something. But I never really thought of myself in terms of the traditional role of being a wife, being a mom, taking care of a household. No, I thought of myself as a career woman. I was bright and very, we call it forthright. So I thought I was always going to be in the limelight. That's how I thought of myself. That's what I expected for myself. So I don't know if my thing wrapped with the traditional expectations.
Okay, and for you, Joel?
Well, I thought of myself as a breadwinner, money maker, mogul. Is that the pronunciation of the word?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I thought of myself as all of those things like in the public space, but I also wanted to be a supportive husband.
Okay.
So a husband that helps to mold the home. But I must say, when I was growing up, I didn't have a clear example of what that should be. Okay. Because what I grew up like seeing in my community is the man goes out to make money, and when he comes back in, he does nothing else because he has put bread on the table. So he expects to be comforted, to be worshipped for putting a roof over the head of everybody else. So even though I wanted different, all my experiences were tied to that kind of belief.
So, well, it's not obvious to those who are watching or listening, but that does not exist in this household. No. You don't expect that when I know you work remotely, but it's not as if you expect then for your plate to be, placed at specific points because it's breakfast, it's lunch. No, that's not how it is.
That is not how it is because that's not the type of wife I am. Thank you very much. Okay. I am a wife, but I'm telling you, I'm not cooking no food if me don't want to cook no food. I'm sorry for you. Recently, I actually spoke to Joel and I was just like, you know what? I think I'm going to want to cook you dinner. I'm going to cook you Sunday dinner. And he's like, I would really love that. And then me start feel bad because he's a girl, never did I cook him no Sunday dinner. We had not had, before we got married, we didn't have like a sit-down conversation about what do you expect of your wife? What do you expect of a husband? That's usually something that is done in marriage counseling, which we did not do prior to getting married. We had been in a relationship for like a span of about 13 years. I mean, overall, from the time of meeting each other to now.
Okay.
And we had been great friends. And when we got together, I think we chose not to do marriage counseling, mostly because we only knew counselors who were pastors,
Okay.
and we at the time did not want the kind of advice, I guess, that we assumed we would be getting. We had been living together, not married. We grew up in Adventist homes. You know, that's why I never want nobody rebaptized we. So we kind of steered clear of that. But those are conversations I think that might have happened. And so when I was saying to him, I'm going to cook you dinner, and he was so excited, I'm like, Lord gee, then this whole time my man want dinner? But in this house, he's very, very good with some eggs that he will make himself for breakfast. And I generally cook dinner, but just not Sunday dinner.
Okay. I remember though that but once we decided on this topic, you pointed out that you believe that your role in this relationship is really in terms of a lot of emotional support.
Absolutely.
For Joelle. Would you agree that that's one of her primary roles in your life?
Yes, I would agree. One of the reasons why that's something that I have spent a lot of time like thinking about and like even working through ideas I have had over the years, especially in talks with Ayana, executive coaches, therapists, is because the support that's received from the wife, the emotional support, there's not a dollar figure placed on that. But I've gotten the emotional support from this lady beside me that has allowed me to make millions of dollars.
Nice.
So, but when it comes to it, I'm not like, oh, this key piece of advice that you gave me
Is
that
worth
allowed me
X.
to make this money is worth X amount. So, you know, you are actually due 50%. Like I don't think about it like that mentally. So she does benefit from it because she's part of the household and she, you know, drives the vehicle, uses the credit card.
Because my name is on it. Uses my credit card. That's my card.
Okay.
But then, like, I've realized now how we have to place more importance on the kind of support that we get from our partners.
Nice.
Because when we don't try to quantify it, it's sometimes minimized.
Ayana, your thoughts on that statement?
All true. I mean, I agree completely. I currently am wife and mother to this man and our son, and he's 15 months old. Totally unplanned, barring the times when he keeps saying, you know, long me did want one son. I'm just confused because I didn't know about this, but I mean, I'm gonna stick with it. Just happened out of the blue, and we're so fortunate as a family that we are able to afford him a beautiful life, and that is what we want to be able to continue to do. I, in my role as wife and mom, stay at home, which is not very typical anymore. So not very. More and more these days, women are career focused and want to climb the corporate ladder. A lot of women are super moms, so they are mothers and wives and also bosses, and they just babing down the place, and it's great. I'm just a mother in my t-shirt, eating my mango, barefooted in my living room, and I'm okay with that. I have no intention of going back out into the working world because I have nothing to prove out there. I am here not because I do not have the capacity to be there. I'm very intelligent, and my husband can tell you I'm even brighter than I am, and I'm very bright.
Are traditional roles obsolete? That and more is what we're unpacking with the Deans, but we must take a word and listen to our partners. We'll be right back.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.
I recently have been coached by the great Miss Noreen Daly. I own a video company. I'm also an online influencer. So I do a lot of speaking virtually and in person. She was able to point out some of my weaknesses that I didn't yet notice. And I 100% recommend Miss Noreen Daly as your coach.
Noreen Daly, redefining the way you communicate.
You can't live your best life without a healthy immune system. Boost your immune system the delicious way with Zappy's organic juices and punches. Made from local produce with zero added sugar, our juices cleanse and revitalize your body as they boost your natural immunity. Try our delicious flavors. Beat It, Berry Bomb, Get Fresh, Ton Up, and Island Splash. Find us on Instagram at Zappy's Organics or call or send a WhatsApp message at 1-876-779-8910 to order today. That's 1-876-779-8910. Zappy's Organic Juices and Punches. Live your best life today.
Photography is an art. But more so, photography must come from the heart. Precious moments, priceless times. Take a pic and know it will turn out fine.
BMC Photography JA. Beautiful moments captured. Let's go.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.
We're talking about gender roles. We're talking about traditional roles. How do you see yourself in our family? Are you the breadwinner or are you my support partner? Am I your support partner?
Yes,
are we both making bread? Let's talk about it. We, especially because of our particular situation, my husband, because of his generalized anxiety, spends a lot of time working through great difficulty and under much duress in situations where if you look at him with the naked eye, you would never be able to see, you would never be able to tell that he is struggling. And because of his experience with his mental health challenges, we have decided that here is where I am most needed and most impactful because I bring him down. We anchor each other. Okay. So along with his therapy and we also do marriage therapy. Nice. So along with marriage therapy, individual therapy, I do individual therapy as well. And with all of that and our own self-help, self-awareness and growth, we use a lot of, we read a lot of books together. We spend a lot of time in conversation, and it is not something I would be able to do if I were getting up every day and leaving the house to go to somebody's work and then coming home tired. Even though I'm still not cook the dinner, but okay. What we have decided is good for us is the fact that I am actually available whenever he needs me for us to have these conversations. And we have worked tirelessly to make it vice versa so that whenever I need him, I can have the support. It also sort of, it becomes like, I want to say like the word I want to say means like a given. When one party in your relationship seems to need more help than the other party gets forgotten. And so we have worked tirelessly that I don't seem, you see me kind of hunky-dory, I laugh a lot, I play a lot. So it will seem as though everything is fine with me, I'm carefree, but that might not really be so. So we switch roles in that way where sometimes I'm his support and sometimes he's my support as is needed.
Okay. So in a nutshell then, for it's not necessarily that it's obsolete because quote unquote, the traditional role would be that he's breadwinner, provider, and you are, emotional support. So that happens. Yes. But in terms of some of the other things, in terms of the meals, and all of that's not you. And that works for both of you, and that's fine. Yeah. So for somebody who will listen and watch and say, okay, obviously that works for you, but I don't think it will work for me and my partner.
Absolutely.
What is your response to that?
Well, people have told us that what we do here doesn't work for us. People have said dead straight to our face that we are living in the clouds. Wow. Because time is hard and economically this is not sound.
Wow.
So the truth is, For us, we know what happens here. We know how we pay our bills. We answer to each other only. When people have a thought or a conversation about what we do in this household, we just laugh, because you're never gonna know. This is a very sacred space. Welcome. And we preserve the energy in here. This place is a space of renewal for my family. So no matter what is said to us or about us, it doesn't pass that door. We don't have conversations about it and, wind ourselves up about it, because it doesn't matter. Those people don't know anything about our life. And even when we share, what I love is when I share something and people say, oh my gosh, I can't believe you shared that. You've been so vulnerable on the internet. That's not vulnerability, honey. I gave you what I want to give you. What you think you know about me is what I have given you.
Version.
It's what I have chosen to expose. So you don't know any of our deep secrets, because those are ours. Those are ours. This is our life, our marriage. And I would say it to the same to another person. It's your life. It's your marriage. And I love a babe who is bossing, who is working, who is doing it all. I have some friends who are, when I say doing it all, I am so, so proud and just so, so amazed at how beautiful and strong and just go-getting, just so versatile they are. But me not do it, mama. I don't want to. I don't want to. And I'm 100% capable. I'm capable. I believe that. I don't want to, and I'm fortunate enough not to have to. I recognize my privilege in this man, my gold mine. And I don't have a problem to dig it, but I'm just saying, everything that we have built together, that is a product of our hard work. It's a product of our dedication to refining ourselves and to going for gold, no matter what is happening around us. And we have a thing that we say to each other all the time: we double. So where we lived before this is twice as great. And before that, in our life together, we have at least, I'm gonna say, quadrupled where we started. I would never start that small, I'm not gonna lie. So the truth is, we have worked really hard to be where we are. And I know that it is privilege why we are here, but we never started with privilege. That's something we created together. So I'm happy to live in the abundance that we have created together, and let the man take care of me.
Yes. So that's the reason why we have to demystify the rules, because when we create buckets of things that one person should do or shouldn't do, we create boundaries, and boundaries limit expression. And when there's a limit in expression, there's a limit in growth.
Excellent note to end on. This was Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, with other people. I'm Noreen Daly. Until next time.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.